tell the House the concerns of members, and I want to repeat, sit down, Anjala. The conduct of the Deputy President of the Republic of Kenya is not under discussion here. The issue raised by Jared Okello was very clear. The office of the Deputy President, the whole of the office, as I think Junetta summarized it very well. Now we want the leader of government business in the House, the majority leader, to assure the House and the country that the dignity of the office of the Deputy President is not at stake, and more importantly, that the Deputy President is provided with resources to discharge his duties and responsibilities in a manner that brings honor and dignity to the office. Majority Leader.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, allow me to, as you have guided, restrict myself to the issues that were raised by the Honorable Jared Okello, without delving much into the issues of whether this was a reality TV show or acting and drama. Honorable Speaker, to confirm to the House and to the country that both the President, the Deputy President, and also the Prime Cabinet Secretary, all Cabinet Secretaries, and indeed, even members of Parliament, are well and adequately provided for in terms of budgetary allocations, including budgetary allocations for travel and staffing in all our respective offices. And Honorable Speaker, the Honorable Jared Okello will bear me witness that last week, only last week on Thursday, Honorable Speaker, we did pass the supplementary appropriations bill, and also we are in the process now of finalizing the appropriations bill of the 2024-2025 financial year. And if any Kenyan looks into the books of accounts of the national government, you will realize that the office of the Deputy President is very well resourced. And indeed, Honorable Speaker, maybe it's good to just put it into perspective because the Honorable Jared Okello has raised the issue. And there are issues that touch on, as you have guided, on the budget of the office of the Deputy President or the presidency, issues that touch on security of the person of the Deputy President and that of the President. And also, Honorable Speaker, what the Honorable Junetta has referred to as the honor and dignity that comes with the offices that we all hold, not just the President and Deputy President, but even us as members of Parliament. And Honorable Speaker, in confirming that there are adequate resources, including resources for air transportation, Honorable Speaker, both for fixed air-wing aircraft, for helicopters, and even if the Deputy President opted to travel by sea, there are adequate resources for him to travel by sea, by SGR, or even by coast bus to any other bus, Honorable Speaker. And let me also say, Honorable Speaker, it is not unusual, because I don't know why anybody would think it's unusual for the Deputy President to travel with our national carrier, Kenya Airways. Honorable Speaker, I have witnessed holders of that office in the person of William Ruto, our current president, use not just Kenya Airways. In fact, last week when he traveled to South Korea, he took a commercial airliner to South Korea to and fro. The only difference is that he never posed for any photograph anywhere. I have also witnessed when he was Deputy President, William Ruto traveled not just on Kenya Airways, but used jumbo jets to Mombasa, to Eldoret. He has used Skyward and Renegade, and the other, not 540, there's another airline that Safari Link to Masai Mara. And therefore, it is not unusual. I think the only unusual thing that happened yesterday, Honorable Speaker, and maybe that may have gotten the attention of the Honorable Jared Okello, was the Deputy President towing a bag, a new bag, brand new bag, as the Honorable Junetta says, that could not even fit into the compartments in the aeroplane. towing the bag and posing for a photograph. But unfortunately, I think, Honorable Speaker, on matters touching on security, the Deputy President was also very well secured yesterday, and I can confirm that to the country. He had with him not less than 19 bodyguards, 14 of whom he was to travel with on that aircraft. Therefore, he had no problems with people to carry his bags. Let nobody think that the Deputy President had problems on people to carry his bags. He had not less than 3 photographers to take the photographs, Honorable Speaker.
Majority. Yes, Junaid, what's the point of order?
Mr. Speaker, I wish to ask the majority leader whether he's correctly saying that a plane that was to carry 60 people, 14 were supposed to be bodyguards of the Deputy President in that plane. Can you tell the Parliament in broad daylight that 14 were members of his security detail out of 60 members, a third of the plane, and cameramen and the other things?
Honorable Speaker, the information I have, the Deputy President did not just appear for the photograph. The Deputy President was driven to the airside with his full security detail, including the presidential guards that guard him from the Wrecker Squad. They were there with him. There were adequate, not less than 14 officers traveling with him on that plane, including photographers, security men, bloggers, protocol people, including the former MP for Nyeri, who I hear is a chief blogger in that office now, Honorable Speaker. Therefore, Honorable Speaker, I was just making the point that the Deputy President was not short of staff and personnel to carry his bags, including photographers who are taking those photos, Honorable Speaker, and therefore his security was not in question at all. True, Honorable Speaker, in terms of the dignity and honor that comes with that office, Honorable Speaker, I think the Deputy President had this flight paid for by the government of Kenya using taxpayers' money. And to give his office the honor and dignity, those who are keen observers did observe he was seated on seat 1A of that flight. The chief blogger in his office, the former member for Nyeri, was seated on seat 2A. That's in the business class, Honorable Speaker. And others, including his security officers, I think 2 are seated in the business class with him, and many others were seated in the economy compartment. And therefore, let me assure the country that the Deputy President within that flight was very safe. There is nothing unusual in him taking commercial flights. Indeed, many of you who attended the National Prayer Breakfast will remember His Excellency the President affirming that out of the austerity measures that government has instituted and which we effected through the Supplementary Appropriations Bill, that his office, that of the Deputy President, and that of the Prime Cabinet Secretary had cut their budgets substantially. And therefore, I only want to encourage the President, the Prime Cabinet Secretary, the Deputy President, when they travel, to bear in mind those austerity measures, but at least to reduce the delegations, if not anything. I am certain nothing would happen to you when you are up there in the skies. Therefore, 1 or 2 security officers might be adequate. You do not need 3 or 4 photographers to travel with you on that plane. You can send some by SGR or others to drive to Mombasa. Therefore, I want to encourage all our government officers to bear in mind that we are in a tough situation and austerity measures that government has instituted, including Parliament, Honorable Speaker. I was pleasantly surprised the other day when I saw members of Parliament carpooling to travel to Naivasha because they thought it was easier to hold their meeting where they were holding and carpool. And Honorable Speaker, this should be the spirit, Honorable Speaker, but